Welcome, everyone, to this night's edition of the Signals from Mars show brought to you by the Mars Attacks podcast. I'm your host, Victor, and tonight is, for me, it's already December 19th. For those of you that are still in the States and in the UK, it is still December 18th. Still my mother's birthday, so happy birthday to my mother there. Anyway, we have, the usual. We'll be making the rounds talking about some hard rock and metal news. It's going to be a solo show again this week. And you can join us for the chat. You can join us in YouTube, Periscope. Facebook is a little bit more difficult because actually it doesn't tell you who's talking. It's just this whole big runamaroo or rigamaroo or however the hell you say that. So YouTube, Periscope, or Twitch, actually. So there you go. If anyone is watching this live, and if this stutters like it did last week, please let me know. Be very much appreciated. Anyway, we are wrapping up the year here. Obviously, Christmas is only in a few days. There are folks out there celebrating, Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and everything else, Festivus. I hope you guys are all having a great time. I do want to salute my patrons from Patreon. Jeremy in the UK, Mike Jones and Steve Hoker back in New Jersey. Hope you guys are all having a great time. And we'll be touching on Patreon again in a few minutes. But today was New Releases Friday like usual, but as I've mentioned these last few weeks, really, the closer you get to the holidays, the more it becomes all about re-releases and greatest hits and live albums. So let's head on over to the MarsAttacksRadio.com site. Check out everything that we have going on here. Once again, we have the last release, which is last week's live show. And Twitch feed does not seem to come through. Okay. Good to know. Not sure what's going on. So, and that's Jose, my cousin up in Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. Hello, sir. Hope you and the family are having a great holiday season. I will have to look into that. Yeah. The service that I use to distribute this show has been working a little wonky. I was trying to do a switch over to that a little earlier, and for some reason it wasn't working. So we'll see. I got to try working out some stuff there, hopefully over the holidays here. But anyway. So you can see all the last few episodes, including the live stream where we had Will Wallner, and then we had David Ellison and Drew Fortier on before that. You can check out the audio or the video versions of those shows. The November 27th is the Will Wallner one. In any event, you can click on the live stream stuff here. Now, see, we're having a disconnect. For some reason, okay. So on the homepage, I could be the cache is messed up. I'll check that out later. But anyway, let's go over today's new releases real quick here as they load. So we have the George Lynch and Jeff Pilson album, obviously known for their years in Dokken. They released an album called Heavy Hitters, and it's chock full of them covering pop songs. Now, I heard their rendition of Duran Duran's Ordinary World, and not sure why they would record this. Ordinary World, Champagne Supernova from Oasis as well. It's just kind of weird. Let's see. Jeremy's saying that there's echo. Is there still echo? Let me know. I've just turned down one of the settings here. I just switched cameras, so it's possible that for some reason the camera is its mic may have been working. So I don't know. Hopefully that's not the case. But anyway. So yeah, this is a mind-boggling release. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I'll check the album out, but as Jeremy and I were chatting last week about this. Saxon is releasing. They released a video for "Painted Black," the Rolling Stones cover. We honestly need another cover of that song. I mean, seriously, come on. Let's see. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, the soundtrack to Soul. So. This is the first time that Trent Reznor and Atticus are working with Pixar. They've done a ton of other soundtracks over the years. I believe they've recorded 87 songs for this, and there's two parts to this movie. Okay. The echo is gone. Okay, so I turned down the mic the mic on the webcam. I'm hoping that the video isn't stuttering this week like it was last week too. So if you guys can let me know about that, that would be cool too. But anyway, so Soul. So there's a part where they're above ground, I guess, which John Baptiste is doing all the jazz playing and the piano parts to that. And Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross do all the music behind the Soul World. So, there you go. Greg Puciato from Morris Plains, New Jersey, formerly of the Dillinger Escape Plan, has just released a new album called Fuck Content. Sounds very much like Nine Inch Nails. So if you're into industrial or electronic hard rock or metal, this might be something worth checking out. It has 10 live tracks and 5 studio tracks. I enjoy it. I'm a fan of Nine Inch Nails and Gary Newman and stuff like that. So this is right up my alley with all that stuff. So let's see. Royal Hunt Dystopia, a Danish band. They've just released their 15th studio album. It's a double album, if I'm not mistaken, and it's full of guest appearances from all types of different singers. For example, the video that I posted was for Mats Levin, who's a former Yngwie Malmsteen singer. Believe he may have sung for Vinnie Vincent in the studio. And video is still stuttering, but the sound is now perfect. Okay. Work in progress, I guess. I got to work on that. So that's one of the things. One of the reasons why I want to go with this other software is because there's, it's not open source, or as a client once told me, open sore, which, you're left to the devices of what's going on. Hopefully with the replay, the video is recording well and I don't have any of these issues, so we'll see. Let's see, last out of the new releases, these are the only new albums coming out this week. Evangelist, a band out of Krakow, Poland, and Ad Mortem Festinamus. Okay, one of those has to be right. They just released a 6-song EP, and like every song was like 7 minutes long. So there you go. Reissues, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. This is a 3-volume set, if I'm not mistaken. Iced Earth is re-releasing their self-titled debut that came out 30 years ago. Killswitch Engage, As Daylight Dies. It's a vinyl reissue. Between the Buried in Me Colors, Amorphous Brothers and Sisters, Alcest. It's in French. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Drive-By Truckers, The New OK, Lords of the Lost Fears, and Beartooth, Aggressive, and compilations and live stuff. So we have Iggy and the Stooges, From OK to Chaos, which is an 8 CD set plus a DVD. Bring Me the Horizon, live at Royal Albert Hall. Cancer Bats, You'll Never Break Us, Separation Stations, Volume 1. Mike Tramp, Trampthology, Sound of Thunder, Parallel Eternity, Beyond the Black, Wacken Open Air Acoustic Clash, and Township, live at Mad Oak Studio. So those are all the releases from this week. I mentioned Patreon. And this is some of the stuff that we've posted. So just posted the new video by Raven. Have our good, have a fun post, which is what are you guys into this week, where we all kind of share what music we're listening to, what TV shows and movies we're watching, podcasts, when concerts are back, what concerts we're going to, so on and so forth. It's always fun to read up on what others are doing. Let's see. So, posted videos from Immortal Guardian, Voodoo Circle, Maynard from Tool's other band, Pussifer, Sowen, Miss Lava, Harry Carey from the Sky, Ice Nine Kills, and so on and so forth. Patreon is anywhere from $2 to $25, depending on what you want to receive. There are a bunch of different perks involved depending on what you fancy. This week, because I didn't release an episode of the Victor M. Ruiz podcast, I threw up something kind of special there. I threw up my very first interview that I did when I was 19 years old. It's from November 27th, 1992, and it was an interview with Dee Snider. And I don't know, I was kind of gun-shy to release this over the years, and the feedback that I've gotten has been pretty good. So if anyone wants to check it out, $2 gets you that interview along with all the other videos and polls and all the other things that we have going on Patreon. So there you go. Let's make the rounds on the music news here, or at least the headlines. So let's see. Ozzy is halfway done with his new album. And this is interesting from the clickbait side of things. We'll get to Metal Sucks, who posted about this and makes a big deal out of the fact that Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters is playing on the album, but Zakk Wylde isn't. and brings up this old quote from 2001 when Zakk Wylde said something against against Dave Grohl, saying, just saying that why is Sony bringing him in, so on and so forth. And if you've listened to the Probot album that Dave Grohl put out, which is nothing but metal basically, 2 songs on there were essentially what he had presented to Ozzy, and Sony turned it down, saying that it sounded too much like Sabbath. Now, it's the songs that were sung by Wino from St. Vitus and Eric Wagner from Trouble, which are obviously Sabbath-influenced bands. And later on, when Zakk got sober, essentially, he came back and said, that whole album kicked ass and that he didn't know that those were the songs. And he even jammed with Zakk at his birthday party at the Great Western Forum out in L.A. And that was kind of the catalyst for the Zakk Sabbath project that Zakk Wylde has been working on all these years since. So, I felt like it was kind of like a clickbait headline just by reporting the one end of things, but not what happened years after. So, there you go. Anyway, Jeremy is chiming in. It was great, that Dee Snider interview. Thank you, sir. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Tomorrow I'm going to record like the whole, you asked about, how I got the interview and whatnot. I'm going to record that, and I've got a bunch of pending things. There's bonus episodes of interviews that I've done with people from the last few months that I'm going to be releasing up there on Patreon. So be on the lookout for that, Jeremy. It should all be, it's going to be like my Christmas present for you guys. So there you go. So anyway, I'm psyched about there being another Ozzy album. I liked Ordinary Man, except for a few songs. I mean, it was good. People, it's similar to like when I see people say that that Metallica needs to record another Master of Puppets, or AC/DC another Back in Black. AC/DC's Power Up that just came out is phenomenal. I've been playing the song Witch's Spell and System Down over and over again this entire week. I threw the album on for the second time this Sunday, and those 2 songs have been resonating throughout my house, the car, so on and so forth. A lot of it has to do with my whole Apple Music debacle, but I'll get into that in a second. So anyway, all right, so let's continue the headlines here. So with the Ozzy stuff, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So actually, what I was getting into was the fact that Power Up isn't Back in Black. It isn't Dirty Deeds. It isn't Power Age, but it's a good damn album. Every album doesn't have to be their best ever, every meal doesn't have to be your favorite dish. You can have lobster and hamburger and pizza and whatever your fancy is. It doesn't matter. Everything doesn't have to be the best. As long as it's something you enjoy and it's good, I mean, who cares? So, anyway, Sharon Osbourne tests positive for COVID-19, and Ozzy's been saying, that he hoped that he doesn't get it because he doesn't think he'll survive. So let's hope that's not the case. No new Godsmack before 2022. I'm not going to lie, I like a lot of their early material, but their last few albums have kind of lost me. Tim Lambesis suffers burns, okay. Igor Cavalera on Sepultura's Craziest Show. Herman Lee playing fast is exciting. The only time I've seen Herman Lee live, he wasn't live. He was playing. He was lip-syncing. The whole band was lip-syncing. We saw them at a festival here in Spain, and we watched their first song, and they stopped playing and the music kept going. And it was like after that final note hit, then they reacted again. It was very disheartening, and we immediately walked away. So when I hear all this stuff about, playing fast is exciting. Okay, you got to play to begin with. Okay, and then the Sharon Osbourne comment. Hope she recovers, and hope all the best to the Osbourne family there. Okay, so Jeremy is saying, yep, Power Up is cool, best since Back in Black. I would agree. I would, to me, between Back in Black and now, so the Brian Johnson albums, Back in Black, Power Up, Razor's Edge, and Ballbreaker are probably my favorites. Blow Up Your Video is a good one too. Man, between the previous two to Power Up, I just couldn't get into them. Anyway, let's see what else they have going on here. So Uriah Heep bass player Trevor Boulder's legacy enhanced by posthumous solo album, Sail the Rivers. So he passed away in 2013. So cool. So that's coming out 7 years after he passed away. Pretty Reckless, who I've featured on Patreon a few times. So I have an official music video for 25. I believe I posted a lyric video to that. Rob Halford reveals greatest piece of advice he has ever gotten in the music business. So and he said that on the French Connection, the music business and beyond, the JJ French show. JJ French from Twisted Sister, who incidentally said he doesn't have a problem with classic rock bands touring with non-original members. So cue JJ French's Twisted Sister. Korn's Brian Head Welch on dealing with coronavirus crisis. God's been showing me that he's got it. Okay. I like the new track by Love and Death, his solo band. It's pretty cool. David Ellison looks back on Dave Mustaine. Wait. All right. Dave Ellison looks back on day Dave Mustaine heard Metallica's Kill 'Em All for the first time. He was pissed, I would imagine. Ice Nine Kills celebrates 24th anniversary of iconic horror movie Scream with mini documentary. Okay, so I featured a video by them on Patreon recently, and it got the resounding thumbs down by everyone. So, sorry there, Ice Nine Kills. TV icon David Hasselhoff. I'm a major fan of Metallica and Iron Maiden. There you go. Striper's Michael Sweet. I've always been a rebel, and I'll always be a rebel. Good for you, Michael. Foreigner. To play the first socially distant music festival in U.S. Okay. And that will be on March 23rd and 24th. Interesting. Was Iced Earth affected by the rise of grunge in the early 1990s? John Schaefer weighs in. And I don't know what his response is, but they're definitely a band that grew once grunge came about. Shit. The first album, like I said, the self-titled debut was just reissued 30 years later. It came out in 1990. And they grew during that time period. And I was lucky enough to interview John Schaefer in person a few years ago. And you always see Iced Earth t-shirts at festivals here in Europe, at least the ones that I've gone to. So, I mean, I think it shows that they were able to survive during the whole grunge thing. I think any band that still points to that, I mean, it's kind of lame. I don't get why people still have the stigma where, hey man, the 90s sucked for music. There's a lot of great music that came in the 90s. You just got to look for it, you know? And if you don't find it, it's nobody's fault but your own that you're a sloth. So, let's see. Watch Stream Theater's James Labrie sing a cappella versions of Metropolis Part 1, Forsaken, and Innocence Faded. Korpiklani dropped Sonata Ma music video. I've posted a few videos on Patreon from Korpiklani and other pagan hard rock and metal bands, and they haven't been going over well, so I'm not going to be posting them as much as I have in the past. Jeff Scott Soto releases Someone to Love quarantine video. Now, Jeff Scott Soto is someone who's very talented. I'm just not a fan. I love the stuff that he's done in Sons of Apollo, but a lot of the other stuff I just have never gotten into. I think he's an amazing musician. I think he was great on that first Yngwie Malmsteen album, but just not my thing. The flip side is all of my patrons in Patreon or on my Patreon page love Jeff Scott Soto, so I'll continue to post this stuff. I'm not so limited with horse blinders to understand someone's importance, even if I don't like them, and if other people like them, then why shouldn't I do my part to promote them? How about that? Good Charlotte returns with a new single last December. Crocus to release Adios Amigos Live at Wacken CD DVD in February, okay. Ex-Iron Maiden singer Blaze Bayley to release War Within Me album in April. And that's pretty much all their featured news for today, December 18th. I don't want to keep going like I usually do because then it's like an endless pit. There's other stuff here to check out. Let's go on over to Brave Words. Let's see what their headlines are. So let's see. Chris Caffery talks Trans-Siberian Orchestra live stream event, Savatage reunion. Every 20 years, there's a Savatage reunion. Will be 20 years in 2022. Maybe by then I'll finally be able to get to interview him. He's someone that I've been trying to track down for years. I've always, reached out to him. Hey, want to do the show? Sure. Would love to do it. And then we're never able to sync up. So, hey, I just spoke to David Ellefson after doing that for years. So, who knows? Diamond Head, another wave of British heavy metal. Okay, cool. This album seems to have been getting some pretty good reviews. I haven't been able to check it out beyond the re-record of Am I Evil and them covering Metallica's No Remorse, which is kind of cool, because they covered No Remorse off of the first album, off of Kill 'Em All, which is where Am I Evil first appeared. So there you go. And they do a great job of it. So it's definitely, if you're remotely a Diamond Head fan or a fan of new wave of British heavy metal, I definitely recommend checking this new album out. Let's see. AC/DC contest. Get your power up fix now. Brave picks. AC/DC's Power Up, number 15. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing a year-end, with stuff ranked. Because someone asked me from a show here in Spain, and I threw stuff together real quickly, and after doing so, I was like, shit, there's stuff off of here that, after listening to other stuff after, I didn't have the AC/DC album in my top 10, and now I feel that it should be in my top 10. So, there you go. I don't know. I'll probably do something with Patreon and probably throw it up on the website as well. So, let's see. Rich Davies unleashes a mind-blowing exercise in metal theatrics with eyes-colored black video. Okay, cool. Let's see. Jeremy chimes in. It's pretty good. The Diamond Head album. Good production. Cool. And more Rick Emmett news. Brave Words is in Canada. They do a great job. And a lot of the same stuff kind of overlaps with what we had talked about. So, let's see. Onward basis, Chris Payette, dead at 49. I'm sorry to hear. The Foreigner news that we had already talked about. Alta Rain featuring Trans-Siberian Orchestra drummer Jeff Plate. Streaming new song Thin Red Line static video. Okay. Tribulation debut music video for new single Hour of the Wolf. That's going to be featured on a lot of the other sites we're going to talk about. And Mercury Circle featuring Children of Bottom, Swallow the Sun members release Our Funeral Like Christmas single and music video. Okay. Gone over to Metal Injection. So again, they talk about Hasselhoff liking Metallica and Iron Maiden. There's an older gentleman who covers Slipknot's Snuff as an acoustic ballad, and it's too good. I mean, the song is like semi-acoustic to begin with, so I mean, I haven't checked it out, but it should be cool. Let's see, Deck the Halls, but it's War Pigs by Black Sabbath. Okay. Dave Grohl drops Velvet Underground and the Knack covers for Hanukkah series. Okay, so Dave Grohl is doing a new cover for each day of Hanukkah. Let's see, Funeral Doom Friday, Stocking Stuffers, and Coffin Crushers, Funerary Descent, Shallow Rivers. I don't know any of these bands, and I don't know how to pronounce this stuff. Someone's top 10 list, so Dylan Collins' top 10 albums of 2020. Fear Factory's Dino Cazares, still looks to demanufacture for inspiration, so he should. Documentary on System of a Down, Serj Tankian, due out in February of 2021. He's apparently going to release an EP with songs that were supposed to be System of a Down songs, and because they're not exactly getting together or getting along, that's not going to be System of a Down stuff. So Epica drop acoustic version of new song Abyss of Time. Blind Guardian cover of 70s Christmas song Merry Christmas Everybody is really fun. Tribulation streams new song Hours of the Wolf. The Weekly Injection new releases. Well, that was okay, so they've combined their new releases for last week and this week. Okay, cool. Best debut album for 2020. I gotta check this out. Okay. And some of these other news are from earlier this week, but let's see. To get some recommendations of stuff to check out. This year, a lot of things that sucked. Jesus, I'm horrible at reading this evening. This year had a lot of things that sucked about it, but one thing that didn't was all the great metal that was released this year. We always love supporting when bands and new projects break onto the scene with a new full-length album. So we're dedicating this poll specifically to new LPs released this year. Be sure to vote on your favorite debut LP below, as your favorite EP here, and overall album here. Okay. So I thought it was the list already, but we'll have to check back in a few weeks when this is already completed. Let's see. So Metal Sucks. Guy covering the Slipknot song again. The Serj Tankian news. Kirk Hammett reveals the Metallica guitar solo of which he's most proud of. Let's see that real quick. Okay, so Kirk Hammett has revealed for Metal Hammer the 3 guitar solos he's most proud of by having recorded for the band. Jesus. You can head over to Metal Hammer to read the explanation for his selections, or you can just check out those selections all queued up to the solos. Okay, so Metallica Hero of the Day. Now, I don't remember that one off the top of my head. Fade to Black and One. Okay, so the last two make sense. Hero of the Day is a cool song. I really like Load, and a lot of people give it crap, but it is what it is. It's in a band evolving. It isn't Master of Puppets, obviously, but I mean, I think it's still a good hard rock album. So, let's see. Metal Sucks talks about this week's top metal live streams: Black Dahlia Murder, Clutch, Enslaved, Every Time I Die, and more. Marker shares new single, Droning Elisive, I guess that's how it's pronounced. Flesh God Apocalypse, Unleash New Song No. This is what I mentioned before. Serj Tankian will release solo EP of songs he wrote for System of a Down in early 2021. Gravison's new single is a nasty slice of black and death grind, recalling New York City's dark past. Okay. Listen to K-Flay's most unusual cover of Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff. She also covers The Offspring's Self-Esteem and another song that I don't remember currently. Epica, I mentioned before, the Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, the score for Pixar Soul. Tribulations, I mentioned this before, they post a new song video. Ginger posts a new video for Home Back. I'm so happy that I got that Ginger album, that I pre-ordered it on vinyl before it came out, because it's a like blue black marble like splatter type deal. It's awesome. At the suggestion of Mr. Jeremy Weltman, I am going to start doing the album of the week on Patreon. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to talk about different like special like albums that I have, and just get comments and get people to share, stories that they have about some cool stuff. So there you go. Let's hop on over to the PRP, which usually talks about like new metal and metalcore stuff. Love all types of hard rock and metal. Love all types of music, actually. Which is interesting. It's funny. Okay, I'll get into my Apple Music story real quick here. So we subscribed to Apple Music. Had been using Tidal for a few years. Tidal was free from my internet service provider. And for only a little more, I could set up Apple One, which also has Apple Music for 5 different family accounts. And it also has it also has Apple TV and a few other things. Apple Arcade, I think, is another one. But yeah, so I decided to switch on over, and as a result, I have to redo my entire music like collection. So it's all screwed up right now as a result. But sorry, I saw a glitch in the video that I had to fix. That's why I'm like kind of sputtering. Anyway, so the whole Apple Music setup is like kind of ridiculous, because they take 100,000 songs from your collection, add them to the iCloud. Of course, due to receiving promos all the time, and due to the massive music collection that I've had since I was a kid, I've got close to 250,000 songs. So it just uploads whatever it wants. And so now a lot of my playlists are incomplete or whatnot. And so I've gone back and I'm filtering through everything to get it to work correctly. So it's a long, arduous chore, which thanks to the fact that I have a new laptop, I can actually go through it kind of quickly. But I mean, I've already been going at it for 2 weeks. But yeah. So as a result, I haven't checked out as much stuff as I've wanted to. It's another reason why with this whole album of the week type deal, I probably won't start doing it until the beginning of next year of 2021. There are a bunch of things, like I mentioned last week, that I'm working on behind the scenes to make this as good as possible. It is annoying to me that the video isn't working right, and I'm not sure why. So anyway. So let's keep going here. Let's see, the PRP, As I Lie Dying, we mentioned. 9 Inch Nails' Trent Reznor reveals the album that changed his life. It's actually a Talking Heads album. Cynic bassist Sean Malone has passed away. That was like 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Crown the Empire release interactive video Red Pills. Korn's Brian Head Welsh says Alpha Wolf are his favorite heaviest band he heard this year. Okay. The Mercure I mentioned. Steve Dave Grohl joined the Birds and the Bees for Little Drummer Boy cover on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Tribulation I mentioned. Flesh God Apocalypse I mentioned. The Swords. DJ Cronis releases cover of the Sonic Santa Claus. Kane Hill debut new single Kill Me. Now this was split on Patreon. I believe Jeremy wasn't into the Kane Hill single that I posted, but Mike Jones was. So we're going to give this video a shot. I'm going to be posting it. I'm going to put together all of next week's videos, hopefully tomorrow, and that's going to be one of them. Again, the Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross score for Soul. Dave Grohl news, which I mentioned, and that's all PRP has. Again, close to the holidays, not a lot of stuff is going on. Let's go over to my friend Keefe's site, Ghost Cult. I really got to talk to him. I hope I get him on the show shortly, because I really want to talk to him about what he does with social media. I mean, he's a marketer for his day job. So he's doing a lot of great stuff on TikTok and on all the different social media platforms. Stuff that I've kind of put on pause to make sure that I can get all this other stuff sorted out. But again, my idea is to go full force into next year with, all guns blazing. So let's see. Ghost Cult has live stream review of Greg Puciato's Fuck Content. Album review of Opium Warlords, Nembatal. Ice on Kill celebrates the iconic horror movie Scream with a new documentary. Mentioned that one before already. Ghost Cult presents Mini Metal Mixtape number 10. Cool. I have to check that out. The Foreigner news, which I mentioned. Exclusive video of Abby K covering Mother by Danzig. This is someone that I posted about on Talking Rock. And let's see. Talking Rock, which will be going offline at the beginning of the year. I still have a copy set up kind of for my portfolio there, but exclusive premiere, Avert Sinman shares new single video, The End of Time. Staff pick Steve Tovey top albums of 2020. New Music Friday. They have a lot of the same stuff that we have. And let's see, Melvin's announced New Year's Eve live stream. And that's it for the news. Just to go back and just remind you guys about the various social media sites that I have connected to Mars Attacks. Of course, we have Facebook. A Facebook page and a private Facebook group. We have Twitter. We have Instagram, Tumblr. You can subscribe on Apple Music. You can subscribe on Stitcher. You can subscribe via Google Play or the RSS if you want to use a different podcasting app. You can just take the RSS straight from the site. We've got a Telegram group, Discord, which I've been working on behind the scenes this week. We have the Reddit group. We also have, that's TikTok. I get the TikTok logo mixed up. I got to do more with that, again, in the new year. Discord, which I've been working on. Periscope, which is part of Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon. And I have a few other things that I hope to be posting. We'll be posting stuff definitely on Patreon. And hopefully we'll have another episode of the podcast up besides what I'm recording right now, live streaming. Hopefully will be available shortly. So there you go. I want to thank everyone who has joined us. Jeremy, I want to thank my cousin Jose up in Connecticut, and anyone else that that is joining us live or watching the replay, or listening to the audio format of this. Jeremy is saying Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yeah, likewise to you, Jeremy, and to your entire family. Likewise to everyone that is out there. We're going to be taking a break for the next 2 weeks because obviously it's Christmas and New Year's Day, but we will be back on January 8th at the same time as usual, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. to everyone in the UK. And for those that are in Europe, Central European time, it is midnight on Saturday. So 12 a.m. Saturday is when this kicks off. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Connect with me via any of the social media links that I just mentioned. Support me via Patreon, and or use my Amazon links for to pick up anything that you want to pick up on Amazon. You don't pay anything additional, but if it's a qualifying purchase, I get a small kickback for anything that you buy from them. So yeah, we'll be back on January 8th, and we'll be talking about some of 2020's music and whatever's going on at that time, and who knows. I've got a lot of great ideas that I'll be putting forward in 2021 that hope you guys will join along for the ride. And I sincerely want to say thank you to anyone who's listening to this, or who has ever supported me or the show in any way, whether that's listening or retweeting or resharing, I should say, on any social media platform, or if you've ever hopped in on Patreon, or if you've ever done a PayPal donation or anything like that. I appreciate everyone who has ever joined this here. So thank you. We'll see you in the new year. Feliz Navidad a todos. I'm being told by my cousin. Likewise to you and the boys, and to Paula. And I hope to see you guys soon. And we'll be back on January 8th. Again, thanks for everything, guys. We will see you right here on Signals from Mars, presented to you by the Mars Attacks podcast. See ya.